Welcome to the Inside Silverstone Podcast, a business-focused podcast covering all things tech, engineering and innovation. Hosted by me, Chris Broome, a huge tech, motorsport and gaming fan, and also the owner of Longhurst, a firm of lifestyle financial planners and independent financial advisors located in Silverstone, Northamptonshire. This is a series of unscripted and unpolished conversations with leading business owners, thought leaders and high-tech talent where we discuss their experiences within the Silverstone business and motorsport region. We will also be asking them to share their knowledge, insight and their thoughts on the future just for you. If you're looking to learn more about the Silverstone high growth region and commercially connect with like-minded peers, you've definitely come to the right place. Welcome to Inside Silverstone. Welcome, listener, to the next episode of Inside Silverstone. Today's is going to be a little bit different. We're going to break it down into two sessions. The first session is going to be good old-fashioned Chris Broome, having a quick talk and a ramble about my thoughts and feelings of 2018 as we pull season 1 of the podcast to a close. And then afterwards, there's going to be a short 10-minute session where I am joined by Roz, Pim, Matt, Daniel, Mike and John at a very nice Indian restaurant in Toaster on Thursday the 20th of December, where I hosted a sort of end-of-year celebratory sort of drinks and dinner. And so Roz takes control of the mic and has a quick chat to everybody. For now, I wish you all fantastic Christmas, New Year, and we'll see you all in 2019. Welcome to the Inside Silverstone podcast. My name is Chris Broome and you are listening to episode 15. This recording is going to be slightly different because today's show is the final episode of season 1, which I'm pulling to a close. We're planning to launch season 2 in February, March 2019. And in the meantime, we will simply be reposting season 1 on social media to ensure we maximise listening numbers so far. 2018 has been a very, very, very busy year for me, with us opening up our lifestyle financial planning business, which is called Longhurst, and then also opening it next door to the world famous F1 circuit here in Silverstone Park. Business has started brilliantly. Lots of existing families and clients followed me into Longhurst. So even though we're a new business, we didn't actually start from zero. And we've been incredibly busy and very humbled to be very busy with new client inquiries, including a number of fellow STC members and also Silverstone Park residents, including a very well-known race team director. So business has started really well. We also launched this podcast, which you, dear listener, have been and has been an absolute blast. I've met 14 wonderful guests, all of whom have been incredibly gracious to give up their free time to come and have a gossip with me, where we've discussed business, careers, education, the ups, the downs, the mistakes, and of course, all of the life lessons that they've given me. Very kindly given me at the end of each episode and each interview. Life in Silverstone Technology Cluster. I mean, what's that been like? For me, it's been incredibly rewarding. For both Longhurst, my business, which is actually my job, and also this podcast. I'd like to thank Pim for his support so far and for being our first podcast guest. Pim, if you're listening to this, and I hope that you are, your introductions to other STC members has been invaluable. And so thank you. We're very, very thankful for that help and support. When we launched Longhurst, I was initially unsure where to base ourselves and base the business. And whether us having a niche in tech and engineering, which is what we do, would actually work. Matt Lawley from Barclays told me to visit Silverstone Park ahead of our launch, and I'm pleased that he did. Having opened the business here and then immediately joining the STC has, without any doubt, been an excellent decision and one that I'm very, very happy with. The amount of value that I get out of the STC is immense, from the networking events, ACES events, socialising, the quiz, of course, where we came second somehow, and of course the free pizza. Yeah, who doesn't love free pizza? Which I grabbed yesterday, which was Thursday. New friends. I'd like to think that all the podcast guests could now call me up for a gossip if they wanted to, maybe go and grab a beer or a gin and tonic or just a good old-fashioned coffee. I have a list of other STC folk who all need to come on the show. So the likes of Robin Kieran and Grant Thornton and EMW sort of better get their asses into gear and come on. We need to tell their story because we all want to know it. And I promise to be gentle with you all. So if you're listening to this, please get in contact. Interviews start being recorded in January 2019, next month. Also, just want to do a big sort of shout out to the Gaia Innovation Project, which, if you haven't listened to it yet, go back to episode 14, which was last week's episode, where the very impressive and very, very personable Julia Muir explains the good they're doing. On the 12th of December, I attended the Kingsbrook College in Northampton as part of this project, where I spent 2 hours with 30 sixth formers, and I lived to tell the tale. I spent the sort of first 20-30 minutes with them talking about my career today, running my own business, the 22 exams that I've sat, and the importance of demonstrating to your target client that you're a master in your field, and most importantly, making sure you're authentic in yourself and how you approach speaking to employers about potentially joining them. We then spent a good sort of hour plus playing a fantastic financial planning video board game that I have and I use, which they all seem to enjoy. The feedback from teachers and the headmaster was humbling, was really, really good. And then I had 2 emails from students asking to do some work experience. So I certainly can think that we can sort of chalk that experience off as a raging success. 2018 has also been very busy because my long-suffering partner at home, Louise, and I also moved home just for fun. I thought I'd open a business, I'd launch a podcast, and I'd move home, all in the space of a couple of months. We now live locally, fully submerging ourselves into South Northamptonshire life. 2019 hopefully will be spent mostly walking our new incoming dog. We've just adopted a dog, with me also hopefully sneaking off occasionally to go fishing, play a bit of golf, learn to shoot, perhaps with Sally P, Dan Parman, and a few others within the STC community. Hopefully we can do that and maybe even record a podcast whilst fishing, I think is what Sally suggested we do, so maybe we'll do that. One of the reasons I wanted to record this podcast, and it's going to be just a short one, is I just wanted to provide my sort of 2018 sort of takeaways. What are the sort of 3 or 4 things that I have felt or seen or valued the most from the year? The first I wrote down was community. Silverstone Technology Cluster and the Silverstone Park business community, both of which I'm completely in love with. I love the fact that I can now walk into a room and I'll know a lot of people there, to talk to laugh with, to talk about, whatever project they're working on. For me, it's been an absolute privilege to be part of this amazing group of people, all of whom, in my opinion, are considerably smarter than me, and ultimately creating, and designing the future that we're all going to be living in. And I love being part of that. I also love the collaboration. The fact that everybody within the STC and Silverstone Park, or at least a lot of them, a lot of us, look to collaborate with each other. And it's something that I've been speaking to Pim about. And next year, I hope to be leading a series of professional advisor mastermind group sessions, where I'll be sitting down with an accountant, solicitor, bank, and other professional experts, as well as myself as the financial expert, to discuss either sort of made up or real life business case studies. Clearly, if it's real life, any sensitive information will be removed. The point of this exercise is for us to talk as a team about how we would work together to help a business through a certain situation, whether that be sort of capital raising, preparing for an IPO, starting up, staffing issues, growth pains, extracting profit, whatever it is. So there'll be more to follow on this in due time, and I'll certainly be talking about it on the podcast in time, and hopefully also record some of these for a podcast. But I know, having run one of these previously in a previous life, that this is an excellent way for all of us professional advisors to show you, the business community, how we can add value and how we work together as a trusted team to do this, and not just as solo businesses. So watch this space. I think the biggest takeaway for me is a phrase that I use pretty much every week, which is love thy job. I really love what I do. I really love what I do. I get to basically help the niche that I love, which is tech and engineering, and people that I hugely respect, and I get paid for it. The main theme of the life advice I received from my previous 14 guests in season 1, the main theme was, make sure you enjoy the work you do. And if you're not, go and find something else to do. It's one of the cornerstone conversations I have with the clients and families I work with. How happy are you truly with your life and your work? And the good thing is, I can tell from everyone that I've interviewed so far, and everyone that I meet with in the STC in Silverstone Park, that you all love your job. I can see it radiating out of you when I talk to you. And that's really infectious, and I love it. And for the record, I love my job also. As I said, I get to help people live the life that they want, and I also get to record some awesome interviews as a bit of a side hustle. So how cool is that? So that's basically it. I'm going to pull this this episode down. It's 10 minutes in. But before I do so, I just want to basically thank everybody. We've got 31 5-star reviews to date, 31 reviews, which is just phenomenal and epic, and certainly more than I could have wished for. But we do need more. So if you are listening to this interview and listening to me waffle via iTunes, please do leave a review, and ideally a 5-star review, and ideally leave a couple of positive comments, because the more we get, the more chance the STC community have of being listened to, not just around the world, not just around the UK, but also the world. So to give you some stats, which I've just pulled off Libsyn, which is the podcast platform that we basically host and upload everything to. So far, the following countries have been listening to our guests. So we are clearly covering the UK, which is where the majority of the downloads are, but we're also in the USA, we're in Spain, we're in India, Sweden, clearly because of Unity connections with Sally, Denmark, Malta, which is where I've got some clients, so that's probably where that's being listened to, but Malta, France, Portugal, Mexico, Canada, Germany, Australia, Brazil, which is definitely going to be a Jean-Philippe connection, Ireland, Colombia, interestingly, Italy, and South Africa. And again, South Africa is probably an Arno connection. But how cool is that? So thank you. The support we've had so far has been phenomenal. If you'd like to appear on the show, drop me an email, which is chris@longhurst.co.uk. I start recording interviews in January. We're aiming to do another 14 or 15. I think with my OCD, I think doing seasons in batches of 15 or maybe 20 is the way forward. We've already got, I think, 6 or 7 lined up, including a couple who sort of temporarily delayed theirs for season 1, which is fine. And that includes the likes of Grant Thornton and EMW. But we need more. So please get in contact if you want to appear on the show. I promise to be very gentle with you. Also, if you haven't done so yet, this is a bit of a selfish plug on my part, go and check out my company website, which is longhurst.co.uk. We provide inspirational lifestyle planning alongside expert independent financial advice. We hold the highest technical qualifications in the land, and more importantly, we are, and I am, we're real people who care, who are authentic, and who talk about real life things and real life shit, because that's what happens, right? We're here to help, and all discovery meetings are held at our expense. Okay, so there's no cost to come and have a conversation with us and with me. And that's it. Episode 15 is now over. Season 1 of the Inside Silverstone podcast is now over. Wow, it has been a blast. And I look forward to seeing you all in Season 2. I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas. I hope you spend this time surrounded by family and loved ones. Please do not eat too many sweets. Please do not eat too many mince pies. And make sure you go and get some fresh air, because there is some beautiful countryside out there. I'll see you all soon.
We're here at the Curry House celebrating the fact that we've had a fantastic year as business people working in the area of Silverstone. And Chris Broome has really helped to add value, because he had the idea of interviewing people and asking them what's in it for them and what their experience is. And luckily, for people like me and Pim, it's been positive. And I can't...
Well, thanks, Chris.
I mean, Mike gave... I'm going to interview for now. Mike gave a really good interview. Podcast number probably 10 or 9?
2 or 3, actually. I think it was quite earlier on, yeah.
You were enthusiastic. Are you still enthusiastic after sitting next to Chris at a curry?
I'm even
evening?
more enthusiastic after a night out with Chris tonight, yeah. But and hopefully we've done something to break down the perception of boring lawyers that Chris seems to have of us working in the area. But actually it's been a really good year, yeah, really good year. Absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed it. And also the special interest groups as well. So really good.
And the point is that we're all here having our curry because we like Chris and we like what he's done. And next year, Chris has promised to interview another 15 different people about their perceptions and their business. And I think that the people that will want to go on the podcast are the ones that really want to promote what they do.
You bet. And look, I can only suggest it's a really good thing to do. It's good fun. Chris makes it pretty funny. And ultimately, it's an opportunity not only to promote the business, just to promote the area. And at the end of the day, we have to live and work here, and we want to be able to be successful and encourage other people to be part of it.
You get a what?
You get invited to a curry night out.
And you get invited to a fantastic curry night out.
Network.
Absolutely.
Because networking's what it's all about. And I have to say that I was pleasantly surprised by the content of the podcast and the way that Chris does it. And part of what we're trying to do at Silverstone is promote ourselves to the government. And I've sent the link to the podcast to Robert Jenrick's office, because I know he's interested at the Treasury. And I've also been talking to the top level civil servants at Bays about it, and they wanted the link. And also made sure that all our board members of Silverstone Technology Cluster are listening, because it is a valuable insight into the business community in this area, which if we want them to help us, they need to understand what we're doing. So it's a really quick and easy way of really getting that message across about the diversity of activity and the value of what we're doing, capabilities that companies have got.
We can all learn from this. At the end of the day, if we're all honest about the risks that our businesses face or opportunities our businesses face, we can work together and collectively do better. And that's what it's all about. It's really good.
It is about the collective.
It's really good. So
I'm only here for the curry.
We won't say who said that. Dan, you've been a member of the STC for a year or more.
Yes, maybe slightly less.
Representing Tollers.
And my consultancy business, which helps Tollers solicitors engage with businesses in the local area.
And what's been in it for you then?
It's been a point of differentiation for me as a solicitor, talking to businesses, educating them on what's going on in their local business community. There are so many ways in which the cluster community can help businesses, particularly the engineering, manufacturing, high performance technology type businesses. They need to talk to each other. They've all got their problems, and they probably most of the time don't know that there's somebody out there that can help with that. So part of my job is to bridge that, not just with professional services, on a business to business basis. And as a result, through me educating myself in that area, area and in the cluster, by making those suggestions and building those connections, then your goodwill and your stock goes up, and then people want to engage with you and understand how you can help them.
And at the end of the day, you've won business out of being associated with it.
Very much so, definitely.
And that's the point, isn't it? That it's about promoting your business, getting to know people, developing relationships and trust, and from that, getting that opportunity to, pitch for work and winning some of that work.
Correct. And
it's all about business
being part
generation.
of the cluster, that's come very, very quickly, yes.
Yeah, because you're part of a trusted community.
And enjoy being so. Yeah.
And then we get to go out in Toaster for a curry.
Yes.
And have a bit of fun.
Sponsored by
Chris
Broome of Longhurst.
Chris Broome of Longhurst, absolutely. I mean, where else do you get Tollers and Woodfines in the same room together? But at the end of the day, actually, if you work closely together and you can collaborate, which I think is fantastic. And of course, you're dealing with intellectual property.
I'm dealing with
matters.
intellectual property, yeah. But I think you made a very good point there that the podcast, as in the STC, is all about showing what skills are available and how we can all work together, which I think is a very important thing.
Because the point I made at a dinner not that long ago was that if engineering and software and electronics companies in our area, the high-tech community, want to really maximise the opportunity and grow, then they need to take the professional service community seriously and not think of them as a necessary evil, but think of them as skilled people with complementary skills working in our area, people that want to work on exciting projects and want to support what's going on. And actually everyone needs each other, and we need to get serious about those relationships. And maybe if people are listening to this now thinking, well, yeah, necessary evil, we pay them a lot of money, at the end of the day, if you want to grow your business, you need to invest to grow. And there's a lot of people that are members of the cluster that want to develop that relationship first before any money is spent on anything, with a good track record and expertise. So, you've got to get serious about these things if you want to grow your company and stop being old-fashioned and childish and look in the mirror and think, well, I want to grow my business. What's it going to take?
But a good professional advisor should actually be somebody that takes the time to get to know your business, takes time to get to know you, takes time to get to know the community and the sector that you're working in, and then understanding the issues and the problems that you're facing. It's about bringing a team of people that can genuinely add value. So it's not a lesser of any evils. It shouldn't be thought of as, I need to spend that money in terms of it's an insurance policy. Those advisors should genuinely add value to your business along the way and be part of that success. But it all starts from just taking the time without clients feeling worried that the clock is going on. So it should just be giving that time, adding that value at the front end, should really then add value long term to both businesses.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we're all, real people living in the area, grown up in places like Milton Keynes, Northamptonshire, lots of different experiences, families, friends, things to do at the weekend. We're all, I think it's really important to break those barriers down and just think about people as individuals doing their best in the community. And if you join the STC, then you get involved with all of that, and you can start developing that sense of mutual regard between us all and inspire each other as well.
It's the word I would use is inclusiveness. It's about the fact that you're working with people, you're not isolated, and you're collaborating, which I think is a really positive way. But again, when going back to your professional services point of view, whether you're dealing with financial advising, banking, we've got a banker here who's going to be turned into in a moment, the legal services and accountancy, ultimately what we pride ourselves on is preventative dentistry is better than reactive work, and it's often a lot more cost effective that way as well. So in fact, I'm going to hand over now for your part.
I have no idea.
Barclays.
You're going to talk about Barclays banking, so why should we be interested in Barclays corporate banking, Matthew?
Involved in STC?
Why are you involved in STC, Matthew?
So we're involved in the STC as we see it as an exciting opportunity to really forge.
What do you really mean? Go on, what do you really mean?
Well, thanks for that interruption, Chris. But we do see it as an exciting opportunity. The longevity that this could create in the community is absolutely phenomenal. Thanks for chucking rice at me. because one, it's highlighting the strength of the area, but it's also attracting more and more businesses to the area. That, for me personally, I'd love to get involved in exciting companies, and there's more and more coming to this region because of the work of not only the Silverstone Park but also the STC as a wider picture. So it's a really interesting time, but also, when we look back on it in 20 years' time, like we do now with Cambridge, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to have a legacy that's there, and it's just great to be involved with that as board members.
Yeah, it is. And what I would say, the analogy for that is Ken Baker, who was one of the original planners at Milton Keynes, and he's in his 70s now, and he's got Parkinson's. And I had a meeting with him about Milton Keynes, and he said, Roz, when I first qualified as a planner and I went out into the fields with a tape measure, start measuring out Milton Keynes, I didn't realise it'd be my life's work. And he's there now. He's had a video recently of kind of a legacy project and all the suggestions he's got for where Milton Keynes should go next in terms of planning and development. That's the same as other people around the table tonight, like Matt. At the fairly early stages of his career, 20 years hence, he'll look back and go, I was there at the beginning of something exciting that I'm still excited about now. And, you don't maybe realise at the time, but it's stuff that's bigger than you, that requires more energy than one person, and that will go across the years, really, and capture imaginations and hopefully inspire young people as well as businesses. And, Matt's a prime example of someone who's a great ambassador for Barclays and for the STC. Has a few beers at the Curry House tonight, and still can get all passionate about it within a blink of an eye.
And makes sense.
The Inside Silverstone podcast is produced by the team at Longhurst for the benefit of those with a passion for all things tech, engineering and innovation. For more information, please visit longhurst.co.uk/Inside Silverstone, whilst also remembering to give us a 5 out of 5 star rating on iTunes. Please note that neither Chris Broome or Longhurst work for Silverstone Park, Silverstone Circuit or Silverstone Technology Cluster.